Buddy, welcome back to another episode of Cam and Focus Weekly. I'm Cam. With me, as always, is over here is Mr. Andrew. How are you?
Doing pretty good. My sister had her birthday last week, and so we celebrated with family this weekend because we were iced out last weekend. It was a
Gotcha.
good time. It was a tea theme party, so had to have the pinky out. That was one of the rules. But yeah, no, a
Oh,
lot
okay,
of
I
fun.
gotcha. I was going to say,
Anybody
did somebody
dress-
show up like dressed as the Mad Hatter or something?
I was get out of my head. I was about to ask that.
No, I did not have to wear a dress, guys. Gosh.
I know you must be so disappointed.
Yeah, I tried to convince them to let me, and they wouldn't. So
Hey, I mean, if you guys convinced me to wear Princess Leia lingerie, I feel like we could convince you to wear a dress.
You know, Cam, I feel like that didn't take much convincing.
no, it didn't at all. It was like 30 subscribers too. We were just like, sure.
So, so Cam, have you ever thought about lingerie? Man, I am there.
I can't imagine if he did that for 30.
Right now.
Imagine if he did that for 30, what's he gonna do for 100?
I don't know. You ever watch Two Girls, One Cup?
Oh, no. No, I am gonna be anonymous the rest of this episode.
Listen, I'll say this. How about this? For 100 subscribers, I will do the truffle shuffle.
That would be awesome. I would be so happy if I saw that. And I will clip just those few seconds and distribute it everywhere.
Oh, you almost okay.
I'll make sure to wear like a Hawaiian shirt too, just to like really seal it all together.
Exactly.
You know? Like you gotta go full chunk.
Be careful, Neil Bree may come after you.
Ugh.
No, Michael does the truffle shuffle. Neil Breen's like, isn't that corrupt?
Oh no. Isn't that betraying the people's interest?
No, he's just gonna listen. No, he's just gonna hack into the stream.
Right. I have hacked into national and international government secrets
to see what I can find out.
You know what? He would have fit in this movie. I'll just say that. But
yeah, he is one of the programs. You know, he's master control.
What? That would have been amazing. That would have been hilarious.
Well, since we've already touched on the topic, no, we're not doing a Neil Breen movie. Today we're discussing TRON ARES, and Michael, I'm just now realizing I didn't introduce you either, but I feel like you telling us you do the truffle shuffle needs no introduction. So, but yes, we're talking about TRON ARES today. This movie came out earlier this year. It's the sequel to TRON Legacy. Well. People don't really call it a sequel. They call it like an adjacent movie because it doesn't really build on much of what was set up in the previous one. But we'll get into that. This movie stars Jared Leto. I know Jared Leto. Boo, whatever.
I like him. Yeah,
he did. I think he did a fantastic job in this film.
Yeah, I thought he was good too. And. Yeah, when I saw this movie, I saw it in like, IMAX, Dolby, Atmos, whatever, the state of the art type thing. And I had the time of my freaking life. I don't think I don't think this is a perfect movie, not by any means. I mean, I have issues with it that we'll get into, but this is just a fun movie. Now, I'll kind of go around the clock here. I'll start with Andrew. Was this your first time watching it?
It was, yeah. And I'm kind of mixed on it. I thought it was cool on Disney Plus. It had the IMAX enhanced thing.
Yeah, I saw that it had that option. That's pretty cool.
So that was cool. I gotta say, this is a very well-made movie. Visually, it looks awesome. The cinematography is great, especially in the chase scene of Athena and Ares going after Eve. That whole scene is really cool.
Oh yes,
and the music, like the score, is really cool. Unfortunately, I wasn't the biggest fan of the script. I thought it was a bit lacking at times, mainly because some of the motives of the characters felt kind of flat. Like, from a moral standpoint, I knew what they were trying to do, but from like a background of like connecting with them as a person and a character just wasn't there. And some of the characters in the movie, it felt like there wasn't really anything for them to do, really. And there was some like tropes with some of the characters, but all in all, I still had a good time with it. So
yeah. Well, how about you, Michael? What do you think of it?
So not only was this my first time watching Ares, this was my first ever. This is the first time I've ever been exposed to the Tron universe as a whole. I've
Really?
never seen the
You never saw
original.
like Legacy?
I've never seen the original, and I've never
Oh,
seen
wow.
Legacy. It was just one of those movies that, like, I remember when it came out and thinking, "Man, that looks super cool." But I was living here in the Bahamas at the time. We don't have movie theaters, so it was one of those things.
Hmm.
If you didn't go over and catch it in Florida, it was like, well, I might watch it one day on DVD, or if I scroll past it, you
Sure.
know, on TV or something. But it was never. I never, like, okay, like Star Wars. Like I was raised on Star Wars, like the originals and all that. Like my dad made sure I watched all the originals and stuff like that, and so, like, if I saw a new Star Wars movie coming, I was like, oh my god, we got to go see that. Tron, it was more like I was aware that it was a thing, but I was never something that piqued my interest until recently.
Yeah.
And so, having said that, I will say that I found this movie to be very easy to follow along with, even though I'd never seen any other Tron properties.
Sure.
There were some things where I went, I bet that's a callback to something, and I would Google it. I'd be like, aha, that's cool.
Yeah.
Specifically the post-credit scene or the mid-credit scene, whatever. That was what made me put in the group chat about Julian Dillinger will return for Doomsday.
Yeah.
I was just like, that'd be funny. And hey, they're both owned by Disney, so
Yeah.
who knows? But yeah, I had a lot of fun watching this. Like I said earlier, I think Jared Leto did a fantastic job. Considering and I don't know if this is necessarily a compliment to him, but considering the fact that that he played essentially an AI, a robot for a program, I think that like soullessness, I guess. Just he plays that very well. Just that like lack of emotion, just very deadpan.
Don't have to do
Like
much,
mask.
really.
Yeah.
Don't have to do much. Like
Mhm.
very much like what is my purpose? Your purpose is to follow your directive. It's like, okay. But I did love the whole. I loved his arc. What little arc there was, I did enjoy it. The going from getting to see, like, in the very beginning how he like gets created, and like seeing, Dillinger like typing in the code, and like, all right, well, that didn't work. Okay, well, now we're gonna go version 2, and and he keeps like upgrading the code and whatever
Yeah.
until he's perfect. And it was such a cool visualization of how coding works. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it's not how coding works, but I mean, it was a cool
Right.
visualization.
I
And I
really
really
liked that a
enjoyed
lot.
that.
I thought
Yeah.
the first hour to me was really good. I thought they did a good job of laying the foundation of the story. Especially Michael, I would assume for someone that hadn't seen Tron, the first start of like they kind of laid everything out for you to kind of understand the battles of the CEOs. But for me personally, by the third act, I was checking the time quite a bit, like, all right, how much is left? Because it just kind of lost. It felt like it never
Yeah.
got over the hump of that initial height of the story for me, at least personally. Now, I still enjoyed the movie, but especially like someone like Evan Peters, like his character, it just seemed, because I like Evan Peters as an actor, but his character seemed very like stereotypical, like all the tropes of like a CEO billionaire kid that's in over his head. Hey, David. Got it from his mom, took it over from his mom. Like it just seemed kind of
Yeah.
tropey to me a bit.
Well, and see,
Yeah.
yeah, here's the thing with Tron Ares. Tron Ares is full of great ideas. Like Michael, you had mentioned, how Ares is constructed and then destroyed and then constructed and destroyed, and that plays a huge factor in his turn at the end. He doesn't want to be that thing anymore that consistently is expendable. What up, Dingus? How are you?
Hey, Spencer.
But the problem is, and Andrew, you had mentioned this, the problem is the script.
Yeah.
The script takes these ideas but doesn't really do a whole lot with them, and the things that it doesn't really feel very meaningful, because you have the character of Eve Kim, who is the central besides Ares, the central protagonist, and her whole story is she wants to find the permanence code and finish her sister's work. Oh, excuse me. But we don't know really what her sister's work was. We don't know the type of real connection that they had as sisters. We see some flashbacks and stuff like that, but
it's not enough.
They're just flashbacks and recordings and stuff. It feels very impersonal. And so when those more emotional moments hit, they don't land as well as the movie was hoping that they would.
I agree with that. That was watching it, especially for my first time. I was like, God, there's so much good stuff here that just didn't get fleshed out enough. And I mean, I'm very empathetic emotionally. I can put myself in someone else's shoes and everything. And movies can make me emotional. But like you said, with like her sister, I could see what they were going with and shooting for, but it just never got there. And like you said, to the point, it was like, okay, what was her sister's work? And we figure out maybe it had something to do with the code, but it was never fully explained, I guess, enough or shown enough to really have that impact. So
so I would disagree. I would actually disagree there. There's, for me, my understanding of her sister's work was when she's talking to when Eve is talking to Ares about her sister and saying that, like, she herself was always more into developing video games and her sister was more into like how could this technology benefit like humankind. And so it seems to me like she was very much pushing for using this technology for what it ends up getting used for at the end of the film, which is, making food where food doesn't grow and stuff like that. And it was very, I mean, I agree. It could have been fleshed out more, but I feel like they did an adequate job explaining the dynamic there and understand, like, giving us that. For me, anyway, it was I had the emotional gut punch of, somebody who not only misses somebody dear and like close to them who passed away, but realizing that that person had a much more nobler purpose in life than what you feel like you have. And for them to have been taken away before that purpose could be completed, and then feeling like you yourself have to take up that mantle. It could have been better executed, but I did feel like they did kind of explain it, at least.
And so, see, therein lies a big part of my problem, though. It's explained. It's not shown to us. They have that they want the permanence code so they can create more food for people. Okay, so show us people starving. They want to create medicines for people. Okay, show us people who are sick. You can the movie preaches. Well, it doesn't even really preach it. It's just kind of surface level at best. But the movie has the idea of them embarking on this quest of philanthropy, really. That they're for the people. They want to better people's lives and blah blah blah. But the only people's lives that we see in that movie are people whose lives don't need to be bettered. We see the corporations, we see the people who work in those corporations, we see the programs, we see people who have money, we see people who already have everything that they want. So
it's hard to relate and associate that part of the story.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just little tidbits like that really could have elevated it to much higher levels.
They did a good job, I think, of establishing what they were trying to tell and sort of ending it. But there wasn't a lot of meat in the middle, to the point where we got that exposition dump from Ares about Eve in the car when they're driving, which okay, it makes sense sort of because he saw all her stuff, but have Eve tell us that stuff. Or
Yeah.
but it was all like they were like, okay, we have this, drive, and he's just dumping it all out. And I was kind of like, oh gosh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
You
and so
know.
some segments of the in some segments of the script, there are ideas that get explained like to the point of redundancy,
Yeah.
and and
Yeah.
uh, and I think that's kind of indicative of a larger problem in Hollywood. It's like the thing that Netflix is doing now. It's like Netflix wants its movies
Yeah.
to reiterate the plot at least
I
three
saw
times
that.
in order to accommodate people who are on their phones while they're watching. It's like,
Which
okay, well, this
sucks
movie
for
kind of feels
us.
like that.
When I can't go on my phone when watching a movie or a show personally. But I will say I would like more Tron even after this because I thought there was a lot of good things it had, and I guess we're repeating ourselves like the movie, but I'm open to more Tron because
Oh
there was
yeah.
stuff in here I enjoyed, and I really liked the I forgot to say this with the visual sides, the 80s grid that Ares went on.
Oh, it's
That
so
was
Yes.
cool.
so
It's
cool.
so
It was
cool.
so cool.
Like
Listen,
so
even oh sorry.
no, no, that's fine. I was done.
I was gonna say even the just the what was it, like 2.5 minutes of Jeff Bridges that we got in this movie. I'm
Yeah.
like, he's just playing himself. He's like
Yeah.
he's literally just there he's like, that's awesome, man. I love that for you. Like I expected him
Yeah.
to pull out a big blunt or something and be like right on, man. Like he was so great. And again, I'd never seen either of the other Tron movies, so I didn't even know
Mhm.
that Jeff Bridges was like a part of that universe
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
until this. So like, obviously, I found out during the intro. I'm like, oh, that's young Jeff Bridges. Like, oh, look at
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
and then I was like, okay, so there's a non-zero possibility that we're getting a Jeff Bridges cameo in this.
That's
Yeah.
all they could afford was the 2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes,
Yeah.
but
The director
but
is
it,
like, okay, Jeff, I will pay you 200 grand right now just to come and talk to Jared Leto. We need something to connect to the other movies right now,
Yeah.
please.
But, I didn't mind the scene. I thought it was good, but
Yeah, it felt like a good, almost passing of the torch kind of scene.
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, obviously, I don't want to compare it to something like, Yoda and Luke in The Last Jedi or something like that. Yeah, but it still
Yeah.
felt like kind of a out with the old, in with the new type of thing. And could it have been better? Yes, obviously, but I think it still was a fairly effective scene, and it
Yeah.
worked to humanize Ares in a way
Mhm.
that hadn't quite been explored yet. With him
Yeah.
talking about his love for like 80s music and stuff like that.
Well, I do have a question about Ares for you guys. Maybe I just missed something. They did establish, obviously, on a surface level that Dillinger it has, bad intentions, especially
Yeah,
with Eve, and that's why Ares goes against his directive. But I felt like from an audience standpoint of watching the movie, there wasn't enough there for me to be believable, other than morale standpoint of why Ares was.
okay. So
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 I just
yes,
wanted to know if I missed something.
I totally
Mhm.
understand, and after having watched the movie a second time,
Mhm.
I was able to pick up a lot more on it. Um, there are small moments where you can see Ares kind of give like Dillinger or somebody else like the side eye.
Ah,
If it's something that he might not find agreeable or whatnot, or when Dillinger calls him expendable.
yeah,
It's
okay.
little
Yeah, yeah,
things
yeah.
that are dropped here and there that it's kind of like death by a thousand cuts. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's a
Mhm.
bunch of teeny tiny little cracks that they drop in that open up into a
Gotcha.
big thing later on. So you might not notice it at first, but
Yeah.
I can guarantee if you go back and watch it a second time, you'll
Okay.
catch all of those things for sure.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had to watch the movie in 2 sittings, so there's some stuff, but yeah, okay, that's good. I'll go back and catch that because
Yeah,
that's more on me than the story, so but I just
sure,
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
well, and to be fair, it was very subtle on their part. Like you
Mhm.
said, it was very much like a cutting of the eyes or like very very subtle, which I enjoyed.
Yeah,
It was one of the few moments in the story where it was more show than tell,
yeah.
um, and I really enjoyed that. I felt like I felt like Evan Peters was. Oh, I love him. There is not a thing that he has been in that I have not loved.
He just chews the
And
scenery.
huh?
He chews the scenery for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And like, well, and because here's the thing for me, like the big things that he's been in lately are like, like well, I say lately, X-Men,
Dahmer.
Dahmer, stuff like that. American Horror Story.
Yeah.
He does he. It took me a second to realize it was him.
Oh,
Not
I
very like
gotcha.
not it,
yeah.
not like a is that him? And it was more like a oh shit, that's him. Because he played a I don't want to say a darker character or a more sinister character, but it was definitely he was more grounded in his role, I felt, in
Yeah.
this film than he's been in a while. And like, like okay, when he was playing Quicksilver, he was the goofy kid that, didn't listen to anything and this
Boner
was more
alert.
yeah, exactly. And this was just it felt more mature. It felt
Yeah.
more like and you could see like in the beginning he's like,
Oh, you're
this
muted. We can't hear you. Okay.
I was coughing.
Oh, okay.
oh, okay.
I
I
was
was
gonna
like,
say I couldn't
me?
hear any of like the last 4 seconds from either of you. But
Oh,
anyways,
weird.
that's okay.
Uh,
But yeah, I
but
mean,
yeah,
it's he does play a really good character, and I think what really helps to ground his character the most is that he's not just the big bad corporate CEO, blah blah blah. There's a moment where the situation gets out of control or out of his control, and it's
Yeah.
at that moment. It's at that moment that you see just how vulnerable, and just out of his depth he really is.
I will say
And
that because I will say I was not a fan of the character trope wise until that point, especially with
yeah,
his mom. But
yeah.
it is funny because the most recent thing I watched him in before this, I just randomly was rewatching the episode of The Office he's in where he's Michael's nephew. I don't know if either of you have seen that, but he's really funny. And
I
that's
don't think
the
I've ever got that far in the office.
yeah. So it's just funny seeing the drastic difference between those two characters.
yeah.
But yeah, that scene switched my opinion on his characters. I was like, oh, this is like because he was very much like the rich billionaire CEO trope dude. Like I can do whatever I want, and I was just like, we've seen
My
this 1,000
favorite
times.
my favorite moment with him was when Ares was like, "Hey, listen, if we extract this from Eve, it's going to kill her." And you see like there's a slight moment of hesitation where he's like contemplating it. He's like ultimately yes, he does the villain thing where he's like, "Okay, do it." Like there'll be no trace of her on the grid. Great. Like get rid of her. But there's that just tiny moment of hesitation where he like you see him at his desk and he like realizes that like somebody's life hangs in the balance and like is in his hand and he can choose, and it's just like just a split moment of hesitation and then
Yeah.
he just dives deep into the corruption of I'm going to get what I want by
Isn't that
any means
corrupt?
necessary.
Oh my god.
God damn. And there it is, folks. Have a good night.
I'm sorry. I
But it was just it was I mean it was just a split second like blink and
Yeah.
you miss it moment, and I loved that.
Yeah.
It was the first sign that this isn't just a comic book villain
Yeah.
who's,
There's a person in there.
there is a person in there, and
we
there's
gotta dig a little
humanity
deep,
behind
get through the code.
there yeah, there is humanity behind the mania.
Yeah.
And you see it more nearer to the end when Athena kills his mom, and
Yeah.
it's like he realizes the repercussions for his actions and decisions and his
Yeah.
words are real. It's not just a code, it's not
Yeah.
just something that you could, control alt delete and fix
Mhm.
it. His actions and words have serious repercussions, and it almost feels like the end of the movie with him like like blasting himself into the grid almost felt cheap. Like I really felt like he should have gotten arrested, even though we get that cool little, nod at the end to Sark. It was still like
I think that
like I
shows
feel
the
like they
duality of
had
his
a good
character.
arc. Yeah, I
because
could
he
see
does
that.
you know what I mean, because you made a good point. It's like at the end it's like he realized that's the first kind of decision he's made that could not be affected by coding.
Yeah.
But then he realized, well, hey, I can still save myself with coding. Like he had that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of the way I took it, but because I was like, dude, come on.
Yeah. Now, if you think about this movie, it really only has like 5 characters in it. You have Eve, you have Ares, you have Dillinger, his mother, and Athena. Everybody, well, and Jeff Bridges too, but everybody else
Well,
is
and
just like fluff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Hey, I can make 90 plus breakfast burritos in here.
That guy, and then the other 2. I don't even remember their names.
The girl did
nothing.
I don't even think she had a
line.
Yeah,
the girl and that one other guy. It's like, who are they? What do they do? Why are they here? Why are they taking up screen time?
Here's an example.
There was that one guy. One guy, AJ, he was just there to keep blowing up her phone to figure out where she was.
You know what was funny about his character? This was something that was funny, is he hacked into Dillinger's coding thing, but we never even see him hack. He like sits down at the computer, it cuts to Athena and Ares, and then it like cuts back and he's like, I'm in. I'm like, you just sat down. Like, what do you mean you're in?
He must have learned how to hack from Neil Breen.
Like, he had to. Because that's
yeah.
Yeah,
as long as the computer wasn't turned on, then he can hack.
Yeah. Because I was like, did I actually I had to rewind because did I miss something? Like, how's it again?
No, 100%. They're absolute nothing characters, and I really wish that they just weren't there. Because the narrative as a whole would have felt a lot more streamlined if that was the case. But
I would have preferred if it was more self-contained without. I mean, because it was with fluff. But I will say, one cool thing that I thought was neat that Dillinger did, and it made me think of Whiplash, is when he has Athena and Ares has gone and done his own thing, is he makes her master control. And it made me think about how in Whiplash, how there's like the core and the alternative, and he keeps looking back and forth. He's just like, and Athena, of course, she's like, oh, this is awesome. Like, I'm in with Dillinger. And I'm like, you're just a pawn. Like, he's just saying that, so you go do it. And then whatever that ship thing was that she printed out, the code, I forgot the name was. That looked cool.
Yeah. One of my biggest disappointments for this movie was how very, very, very little screen time Cameron Monaghan had. Like, I was like, oh my god, it's Cameron Monaghan. And then and he's gone.
I saw him in the cast and I was like, oh, cool. I was like, what's the point of having him in the movie?
And then there was the video clip going around of him training, to do his stunts in the movie. And then he's in it for
he falls.
He's in it for,
you see his face for a total of 4 seconds.
I guarantee you he didn't even do that stunt, because all it was just that was a disappointment.
That was rough.
I don't feel so good, Ares.
Cameron Monaghan was in the top billing. How did Cameron Monaghan get within top billing when you have all these other characters in here who are just there?
He did do more than those characters, so I guess.
Yes.
But even like, you think about the town in this movie, like, I forget her name, I think it's a Jodie Turner Smith or something. She's done a lot of big things. And again, there were good stuff with her character, just wasn't fully fleshed out. And I know it's only like a 2-hour movie and you can only do so much, but it almost makes me want them to continue with the character somehow, at least with Ares, just to get more with his character,
Yeah.
So
I would love to get more of Ares. I think that his storyline was interesting. Very, very Pinocchio. I think they even I think
they did. He was like, "You want to make Pinocchio a real boy?" He said it to Eve.
Yeah, and it was. I don't know. It was just I really thought that there's a lot more that could be done with that. So I do hope that they explore it some more. But I will say, I remember when we first go into the grid, the Dillinger grid, and I'm just like, yeah, this is cool. This is visually appealing, but it's like, you know, I don't know why. I was way more impressed with the 80s grid than I was with the Dillinger grid. I don't know why. It just felt it felt more tactile to me, just like the low grade graphics and just I was like I could see myself being there a lot quicker than I could see myself being in the Dillinger grid.
Dillinger
Like,
1 had no character to it. You know, the 80s had character to it. Like Dillinger
Yeah,
is just
yeah,
red and
man.
black, the whole thing. You
Yeah,
know,
I don't
very
know. It was
corporate.
like the very like all the like the black with the neon colors over it and stuff. I was just like, ah, yes, this is what I imagine when I think of Tron. Even though I've never watched a Tron movie before, I'm like, this is what I think of when I think of Tron. Like,
yeah, this is Tron. It's like this is Star Wars to me. I just watched Mando and Grogu, but this is Star. No, I just mess with you.
but like, okay, like one. I don't know if problem is what I would call it, but one thing I was just like, why are they doing this? Was during the chase scene between Eve and Ares when they're like both on the light cycles or whatever. I'm like, there's no reason for them to have the light trail coming behind them. They turned that
Okay, my
on.
audio keeps on cutting out for some reason.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I could see that. I could see that you guys could hear each other, but for some reason my audio just keeps on cutting out, and I don't know why.
Mm.
We'll become
Okay.
ventriloquists, so it'll look like our mouths aren't, our lips aren't moving.
Yeah, right.
Well,
But
I'm
yeah, no,
curious.
like
Oh, sorry.
to me, it was just like I was just like, it seemed to me the only reason they kept that in the movie, like the light trails, was to have the chaos that ensues from those light trails, like
Mhm.
the one car hitting it and flipping over,
Yeah,
and like that was cool, but it was unnecessary. Like,
right.
it was literally just a cool factor because it was you
Well,
see Eve like figuring out how to turn it on, and it's meant to be like a weapon or whatever, I guess.
Okay,
But
I gotta
like,
say something about that scene. Okay, so Eve is smart, right? She was co-CEO at some point, right? She
yeah, yeah,
knocks Athena down the flights of stairs, going like, "Oh, I took her out," and I'm thinking, she's code. You didn't kill her or knock her out. Like,
yeah.
what? You're gonna
Well,
buy yourself
and
some
then
time?
that was
You
such
know?
that was such a weird moment too, because then you just see her running back up the ramp, and
She
yeah,
was running like Steven Seagal.
it's too long of a shot. It's just like
Yes,
you just see her. It's just
well,
and you just do
to
the.
be
and then,
fair, I mean, to be fair, Eve didn't know that she was a program. She didn't know that they were programs until she was face to face with Ares on the dock.
that's
Oh, I
fair.
forgot about
That's
that.
fair.
Yeah,
But then there was
yeah.
the moment where there's the moment where she gets on the bike and she starts driving away really, really
Slow.
slowly.
You
I'm
know
like,
what?
okay,
Even when she's running
I'm
from
like, this
Ares,
was a physical. I'm like, this has to be like a physical prop that they sat her on,
yeah.
and like it was something she actually had to drive, but it could only go like 2 miles an hour.
I
Because
guarantee you
I'm just
too,
like,
when Ares is chasing her on the dock, I guarantee you they told Leto run slow because she can't run fast. Because when she was running from him on the dock, I'm like, okay, I can catch her.
Yeah.
Like, come on. But I get it. That's nothing against the
yeah,
actress.
But I mean,
yeah, yeah. It
even
was just
still, that entire scene, that entire chase
that's
scene, is
my
probably one
favorite
of the
part of the
best set
movie.
pieces in the movie.
Oh,
oh,
100%. I thought it looked
absolutely,
great,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
especially the shot. There's a shot where Ares is going to turn around, and the camera just follows the wheel as he's turning around. That was probably one of my
Yeah.
favorite shots of the movie. Like that is for sure the best part to me about the movie, and I
Yeah.
could praise it all day.
And, and that they
So
did do some interesting things with the light bands from the motorcycles. Like the first time, I think it's the first time you see it, the light band comes out and splits that cop car in
yeah,
half.
The
that's
cop car in
cool.
half, yeah.
Now I do have a question about the light bands because I've
Yeah.
only seen. It's been a while since I've seen the other two Tron movies, so I don't know, Cam, if you'll remember. So some of them, like when the jets were flying and they like touched them, they obviously they caused them to crash. But later when they surround Eve and she's hitting them and touching them, nothing. So is there like a setting or something they can do?
No,
Or
I think it's more like just
they were
hitting a
bent.
wall. I'm pretty sure that's all
Okay.
it is because well, I mean, obviously the light band is almost like a wall. If something
Right.
hits it really
Okay,
hard,
that makes
it's
sense.
gonna blow up or whatever. But if you just run to a wall and just start slamming it with your fists, not gonna do much.
All right, now I feel like an
You might
idiot,
hurt.
so
You
I
might
am
hurt
out of
yourself,
here.
but it's not gonna.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess I just wasn't thinking.
That's okay. That's all right.
I also really liked there were mirroring moments in the film where the first time we see Ares in the real world and it's raining and he's like, I could almost feel it. And he's like explaining this later on to Athena and she's like, feel? Like, and then you have
Mm-hmm.
that moment later on when she has Eve cornered and the sprinklers come on and she's like,
Yeah.
it's almost like she has this moment of clarity, like I kind of get what he was talking about.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have that like that moment of flip. I thought it would have been funny as shit if Athena would have like flipped on Dillinger too, and Dillinger would have been like, "Okay, well, who else do I have to send?"
Right.
Maybe it's time.
Everyone.
Yeah.
That would have that would have been the perfect moment to bring back Cameron Monaghan.
Right.
Oh yeah.
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 Well, time to bring back this one program.
Yeah, and the action overall is definitely one of the biggest positives about the movie. That and the
Mm-hmm.
soundtrack, as Dingus
Yeah.
had already mentioned before. The soundtrack. I mean, the different people have done the soundtracks for the different movies. Like Tron Legacy, the soundtrack was done by Daft Punk, which if you're not a fan of Daft Punk, I would highly recommend checking them out. Really great, electronic music. And then
If
the
you're not a fan
soundtrack
of
for
Daft Punk, what's wrong with you?
what?
I said, if you're not a fan of Daft Punk, what's wrong with you?
Well, there is that too, but I didn't want to say it. But
Fair enough.
the soundtrack for Ares was done by 9 Inch Nails, and
Oh, interesting.
yeah, so definitely a very different approach to how the music carries the movie. And honestly, I love that. It sets the sound of Ares apart from the sound of Legacy, and it really
Yeah.
makes it feel like its own thing. And I mean that this is easily a soundtrack I could buy on vinyl and just jam out to whenever.
Yeah. Well, and really, that's why like the only negative I had with the movie was just parts of the script. Outside of that, it was an enjoyable movie. But I did kind of get a little, I don't want to say bored towards the end, but I kind of was
checked
like,
out.
Yeah, because it almost felt like okay, especially at the end. I liked the end scene with Ares and Eve and the postcard, but we get the shot of him getting on the motorcycle, right, and driving off. And you're like, okay, he's obviously driving off, and then it cuts back to like Eve or something, and we see the MCOM, and that I thought would have been a good final shot. But then we cut again to Ares driving like in the town off, and I kind of was like, I know he's driving off.
Yeah,
I was like, I
Yeah.
liked that the last shot being that's just a personal preference. That's not a negative to the movie. But anyway,
listen, man, he's obviously driving off to go and find a bat cave to get bitten, so he can become Morbius. And then after he cures himself of that, he loses his mind and becomes the Joker. Like,
and then he goes, "It's Ares time."
wait, what?
Yeah.
It's Tron in time.
It's
then
Morbin Joker time.
And then after Batman, eventually dies, he like regains his sanity and starts a early 2000s alt rock band.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, so Andrew, if you weren't aware, Jared Leto is the singer from a rock band called 30 Seconds to Mars, and
Oh, really?
yeah,
Yeah.
and even if you don't know who they are, I guarantee you've heard one of their songs before.
I recognize the name. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. The Kill.
I didn't know that he was a singer. That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah. My favorite song by them has got to be "This Is War." I think that was the first song by them that I heard. So
that's cool.
But yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, and everybody, people have been clowning on Jared Leto because clowning on this movie because of Jared Leto.
That's not fair to the
talking about
movie.
like his personal life and blah blah blah. Like I don't know about the guy. I don't care. I look at his performance. I look at his resume, and if you look back to films he's done before, like for first and
American
biggest
Psycho.
example, Requiem for a Dream. That movie put that was the movie that put Jared Leto on the map initially. But
I have added that to my
also
watch list on Tubi, so I will be getting to it soon.
he was also in Fight Club. He was also in American Psycho. He was also in Mr. Nobody.
I forgot he was in Fight Club. Yeah.
Oh yeah, briefly, but he was in Fight Club.
Yeah. Okay.
So
we don't talk about Fight Club. You're already breaking your win. Get him out of here.
So I mean, yeah, the guy gets around with his performances, and I mean, sometimes he's really, really great, and sometimes he's not that great. I mean, you look at Suicide Squad, and he did what he could with what he was given.
Love
but
his Joker and Zack Snyder's Justice League though for the brief scene.
Yes,
you get.
I was gonna say.
100%.
Suicide Squad.
that
That whole movie is. We don't want to talk about that.
Au contraire, my little fish stick.
I'd rather watch the Seagal movie.
I will say I loved the lines that he has when he's about to create Harley Quinn in that movie. He's like talking about like corruption and power. He's like he just starts monologuing, and it's the line delivery is just so great. And I felt like they could have done so much better with that character in that movie, and they just they were like, no, this is more of a Harley Quinn movie, and I'm just like, fine.
Well, and I honestly, I don't know anything really about his personal life. So when I tell people, oh, I liked him in this, and they're like, oh, but I'm like, I just judge him based on what movie he's in.
Yeah.
He definitely has that cult of personality.
You know what? I was gonna say I could see that. I don't know, but like, I just judge what I see on screen. It's the same thing as Tom Cruise. I don't necessarily agree with all of his personal life choices, but he is one of my favorite actors.
Yeah,
and so
for sure.
I just judge based on what I see on screen. Obviously, if it was like something really bad, personally, I'd be like, all right, but I just
well, yeah, it's kind of hard to go back and watch a movie with like Jeffrey Jones in it. Like the principal from Ferris Bueller. The Nazi guy from The Pest. I mean, don't get me wrong.
I can't.
I'll still go back and watch those movies and still love the hell out of them. But knowing what Jeffrey Jones was involved in, it's just like it just gives me the heebie-jeebies.
That's how I feel about like sometimes when I was driving DoorDash a lot, I'd have music on, and like a Diddy song would come on, and I'd be like, I can't listen to it anymore. Nope. Skip. Even though it's a great song, like Every Breath I Take, the one they did for Biggie, that's a great song. However, I cannot listen to it anymore because knowing what I know,
it's like not to keep going down the rabbit hole of celebrities, but like Neil Gaiman, like I love the Sandman. I love reading the Sandman. I love the show, but I do get a weird feeling whenever I am reading it, because all I'm thinking about sometimes is like what all happened with that, and can explore that on your own. I'm not going to go into the details on that, but that's an example where it is hard for me to separate at that point the celebrity from the character from the celebrity at that point. But as far as Jared Leto goes, I don't know anything about his personal life. So
well, but people say, oh well, he started a sex cult or something like that. It's like whoa. okay, he's part of a glorified swingers club. Who freaking cares?
I don't know. That may change things. I didn't know that. This movie sucks.
I mean, listen. I guess he went, I look enough like white Jesus.
That's not. I don't know if that's something Jesus would do, though.
Well, no, but he's like, I might as well lead my own cult.
Yeah, that's certainly something.
I need to go down
to the river and get baptized again.
Or a libel, if we get hit with like a libel lawsuit from Jared Leto's.
Michael
It's like, no,
disappeared.
Jared, we were defending you. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Michael
We
just
think that
suddenly Michael suddenly is off the grid, you know.
Yeah, right, exactly. He gets derezzed.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, well, that's something else that this movie I thought did kind of cool. The whole de-resolution thing. I mean,
Mhm.
when it happens to them, it looks like they're in agony. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and that's something that I feel really plays a factor in Ares's turn, because I mean, who wants to die and get brought back to life over and over and over and over again?
Right. You know, it made me think of another movie, but I'm blanking on it right now. That there's something similar to that, but at Groundhog Day, kind of like when he gets to the point of like he can just die and it's just the same thing over and over again. Because I wonder if it like resets them in the sense of I mean, I know it resets them code wise, but like thought wise. But then Ares starts to become more like self aware. Like
Yeah.
yeah, but like Athena until like the end doesn't, I guess. So that I don't know.
She has that moment of like I did my purpose, and he's like, no, or your purpose, you did your directive. There's a difference.
Yeah.
But to me, it's almost even like Loki in Loki season 2, where he's like
Ooh.
he keeps trying to find like the perfect way to make these events happen, and he just keeps dying over and over again for centuries. Like and so it's just like I can imagine how awful that must have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely something to be said about, self-sacrifice, and then there's also something to be said about forced sacrifice as well.
Yeah.
And we kind of get a touch of both of those from Ares, but really, unfortunately, his character arc is one of the weaker aspects of the movie. So you see, you come for the action, the music, and whatnot, and you also stay for the action and the music and everything like that. Unfortunately, it's not really the story that grips, and when it comes to overall rewatchability for these movies, that's not enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll probably go back and rewatch this movie like maybe once a year or so, just to maybe engage in a little bit of 420 fun and sit down and be like, yeah, man, this movie is a freaking vibe.
I may rewatch scenes. I don't know if I can make it through the whole movie again.
Right.
But,
I feel like if Disney plays their cards right, I think that they could make Ares a setup film for future projects, because I mean they left enough for a sequel to that film.
Our part is I don't know if it made enough money, because I was just saying that I would want more Ares, but
and here's the thing.
I feel like they could explore. I feel like they could explore his arc more in a future film.
Yeah.
So like this first film is more about him like coming to grips with like human emotions and wanting to live and wanting to be able to be free. And then he gets that at the end of this movie, and then like the next movie could be about like him figuring shit out. Like I think that would be a
Adventures with Ares.
Cool movie. So here's the thing. Well, one of the very last shots of the movie is Ares looking at a photograph of Sam Flynn and Cora from the previous movie, from Tron Ares.
Yeah.
Now Sam Flynn is the son of Kevin Flynn, and Cora is the first human born in the grid, who was then brought out by Sam Flynn. So
which I thought was a cool concept when I
so obviously Ares is out looking for them. That right there is our movie. Like that's that's what I want to see for this next one. Definitely expand on Ares' character and whatnot for sure.
Right.
But bring the stories together, because right now Ares feels so far removed from Legacy in a narrative
Yeah.
sense that it's hard to really associate the two with each other.
Yeah, and that's how they can all return in Doomsday. They team up.
Oh my
And
god.
So
They try to trap Doctor
okay.
Doom in the grid.
Right.
No, Doctor Doom takes over the grid, and that becomes Battle World.
Oh my god.
And then Jeff Bridges
Okay.
comes out and goes, "Have you changed?" And Dr. Doom's like, "Yeah." He was like, "All right, you can get out this way." Dr. Doom's like,
So, okay, let me ask you guys this, right? Because I did a little bit of research after the fact. How long after Legacy is Ares supposed to be? Because, like, in the original Tron, you had the Dillinger of that Tron, and then Tron Legacy had his son, and then in this film you see Dillinger and his mother. So is it like another 2 generations after, or is it, or was that supposed to be like, I don't know. It was just,
I'm
I
not
was
100%
confused.
sure. I have to go back and rewatch Legacy.
yeah, I was gonna say, I think Legacy is set in its present time. Like, I think it came out in 2010 or something like that. My guess is based especially on how Flint's son looks in the photo. That photo's not a recent one. I can't imagine it being that much longer after, because they're in like modern day. Was it Chicago and Legacy? I think it's Chicago.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't remember. Whatever city they're in, it's like a modern city.
Okay. So I looked it up just because. So in the original movie, you have Edward Dillinger Sr., who's played by David Warner. And then he had 2 children, Elizabeth Dillinger, who is Julian Dillinger's mother, and Edward Dillinger Jr., who is the Dillinger of Tron Legacy.
Okay.
So
okay. So it spans.
So I was thinking like Elizabeth was Junior's daughter, but it's their brother and sister apparently.
Gotcha. Okay. So okay, not too far apart.
Okay, well, they see that's it. Now the whole movie makes sense.
Yes, it ties. It's like poetry. Okay.
Yeah. Never mind your breakfast burritos. Get this shit out of here. I want to know about the family tree.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the sequel to the next movie. Once he gets the families reunited, then he can be like,
oh my god.
And then you have the Ares trilogy. Give us a Disney Plus series or something, you know. Speaking of which, I saw there was an animated Tron series.
There is Tron Uprising, I think it's called.
I think I saw, I could be wrong, Elijah Wood voices a character in it.
I am not sure.
Or it's not Elijah, I don't know if it's Elijah Wood, but I recognized someone. I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. In fact, I'm going to look it up. I'm going to do some coding.
IMDb.
Yeah, I'm going to coding.
Oh, that's interesting. So the guy who plays Ed Dillinger in the original Tron in 1982 was in 2 separate Titanic films. One called SOS Titanic, which came out in 1979, and then Titanic, which came out in 1997.
Oh, I didn't realize he was in. Who's he playing Titanic?
Your mom.
Let me see.
By the way, it is Elijah Wood. And how'd you know my mom was in Titanic?
Right.
She's an extra, actually. So it's, you know. She has been an extra in a movie, but it wasn't Titanic.
His name in the film is Spicer Lovejoy.
And
wow.
James Cameron's Titanic?
Yeah.
Whoa, Spicer.
I could totally see somebody with a name like that, like standing on a street corner underneath a street light, flipping a nickel with a cigar in their mouth.
Spicer Lovejoy. Oh, he's the right-hand man for Cal.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so he's the old dude that like locks up Jack. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, they call him Lovejoy. I didn't realize that his official name is
Spicer Lovejoy.
They only refer to him as Lovejoy.
I want to know, is he based on a historically accurate character like Molly Brown, Or was that like an original character that they were just like, let's give him the most epic name
Gangsta.
ever? Yeah.
Probably original at that point. I know they had a few real people, but
They had to take some creative liberties, you know,
I
because the person he was based off of wasn't named Spicer Lovejoy. He was named Spicy Sex Toy, so they had to kind of rework the thing, you know.
Oh
right, I'm
my
anonymous.
god.
My favorite fact that I tell people about Titanic that maybe don't know a bunch of movie facts is that there's a CGI shot when they're panning over the ship for the first time when it's on the water, and the people walking on the ship are not real. They're CGI. I don't know why they couldn't have the actual people on the ship, but like, and it's obvious. And so anyway,
If there's one thing that bugs me about Titanic, it's that on the poster, Kate Winslet has 2 different hairstyles.
you know, I actually have a Titanic poster up on
Is
my
it-
wall right there.
Is it the one where it's like a side profile of her face and Jack's face is kind of behind her?
Yes. Yeah.
She has 2 hairstyles. So the front is a short kind of bob hairstyle, and the back is just flowing all the way down.
Huh. I never
Like,
noticed that.
look at it. She has 2 hairstyles, and it makes me mad.
You know, I'm gonna look, but I'm gonna grab my light because my lights are dead under there. I'm gonna confirm this for people because that's what they want.
Fun fact: David Warner, the actor who plays Ed Dillinger, is also in Star Trek V: The Final Frontier.
Okay.
Let's see who he plays in that.
Wow, I have looked at that poster so many times and I never noticed that.
I hope I didn't just ruin it for you. I had no idea you had a Titanic poster.
Actually, it was my mom's at one point, and then she gifted it to me. But
gotcha.
No, I that is not what I was paying attention to on the poster. So.
Goodness. Well, now that we've gone thoroughly off the rails, we went from
Jared
TRON
Leto.
to
We're gonna
Titanic.
connect Ares to Titanic. You know.
Yeah, right. Jack didn't die. He just went to the grid.
Actually, we already did. We connected the original Tron to Titanic via Michael. So that was our homework assignment. So.
All right. Well, I think we can go ahead and call it here for the night. Any shameless plugs, Andrew? What do you have going on this week?
Yeah, last night on the Dingus Den, we kicked off our season 2 reviews of Smallville with the premiere Vortex. This coming Saturday, we're gonna have episodes 2 and 3, which is Heat and Duplicity, I believe are the names. Monday night on MCU Monday on the Feast of Fandoms YouTube channel, we're gonna kick off our Wonder Man reviews with the first 2 episodes. So basically, the whole month of February will be Wonder Man reviews. Thursday night, Cantina Happy Hour. Cam and I will be joining David and Debbie to review Clone Wars. We're in season 3. I think it's an arc. I'm blanking on that arc at the moment. I need to do better with the Clone Wars episodes. I always forget which ones we're doing.
We are so close to Maul Shadow Lord. So close.
Yes, I know. I can't wait. It's it's April 6th. It kicks off. I can't wait. Maybe I wonder if for March if we could do like some Maul arcs throughout the Clone Wars leading up to Shadow Lord just to get
absolutely
in the mood. I think that I know we've been doing episode by episode, but I might pitch to David and Debbie.
Listen,
anyway,
everybody knows that the only Maul arc that really matters is the Siege of Mandalore. Let's be real.
True.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, you have his arc where well, it's not necessarily an arc, but just his story of him building himself back up. You know, he came back from the brink of insanity. His whole body was rebuilt and whatnot. He had to kind of find himself again.
I love the arc with his brother. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but
yeah.
Well, my favorite thing about Maul is the pretzels, but that's just me. So.
Oh my God, Andrew.
I'll see myself
isn't that corruption? Cam, isn't that corruption?
I'm betraying your trust.
Oh my goodness gracious. Holy Toledo. That was something.
I will see myself outside.
How about you, Michael? What have you got going on? Any shameless plugs for us?
So this week on the Tabletop Lounge, tomorrow night we have another episode of Trails of Conspiracy, and then I believe we're planning on doing another episode of the Fallout Lone Star series on Wednesday night. So go check that out. Originally, we were planning on doing that every other week, but I think that our DM for that is kind of super excited to continue the story. So he's like, "Hey guys, you want to do another episode this week?" so there's that. And then I know that we've again, I mentioned it before the show, but I know we've got a Patreon now, but I don't know what we're offering on that yet, so I'm not going to really say anything more about that here. And also
for
because
$25 a month, you can see Michael's pillow. I don't know.
You're doing that for free now, friend. Like,
well, good because
we'll see the other side of the pillow.
Yes.
Holy shit! It must be my birthday.
Right. No way.
But yeah, no, there's that. Yeah, D&D stuff. Go check it out. Tabletop Lounge over on Twitch. I really need to talk to Spencer to like figure out exactly where, like, what, like, is it Dingus Den on Twitch or is it Tabletop Lounge or what? But yeah, one of those.
All right. Yeah. Well, that'll do it for tonight for Tron Legacy. Tron Ares. Damn it. I got to go watch Tron Legacy now.
Well, and you said Tron Ares for Tron Legacy earlier, but I was just like, I know.
I did? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it shows where my mind is. I mean, I think that Legacy is technically a better film, but that's just me.
Yeah, I'd agree.
All right.
But next week we've got a treasure of a movie, I'm sure.
Isn't it? Oh God! Isn't next week our bad movie week?
Well, we don't know. It's the Quest for the Mighty Sword.
Yes, it is. Movie. Yes. Okay. I totally forgot about that, and I'm so glad that you reminded me because now I have to go and watch that because I have been looking forward to that for 2 weeks.
You know what? I have too. So
the amount.
The Quest for the Mighty Sword.
The amount of Tubi clips that Andrew sends me in a week. I just get random Tubi clips, and I'm sitting there like, we should absolutely review this on Cam and Focus. the one where it was like the what was it, like the kid like back talked his mama and she just takes a frying pan, he just
oh my God.
He was like, it was a Tubi original movie, and he's like, that ain't my daddy, and she's like, yeah, he is. Boom. And then there's one where a daughter's talking back to her mom like, she ain't your daughter, something, and the mom just grabs her by the neck.
No, the best one you sent me was the one where it was like she starts shooting and the audio is not lined up at all.
Yeah, it's so like this. It's like she does this.
Of light.
She does this. Boom, boom,
and there's
boom.
Just flashes of. Yeah, it's so. It's
and
so
the
bad.
gun is a click gun because you hear like click, 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 and then you hear boom, boom, boom.
And you see like very, very obviously just.
Someone took their phone flashlight and went.
And just flash.
And the guy's like. Or there's one. This threw me off, and then we'll stop at the Tubi. But I don't know if I sent you this one, Michael, or not. But it's like a lady shows up to a guy's house, and she's like, "I'm pregnant," and he goes, "No, you ain't." And I won't say what he does, but I was just like, "You're kidding! Like, what is this?"
Does he kick her in the stomach or something? I mean,
worse. He ends her, I guess is the best way to put it without getting canceled. So. Or censored.
Yeah, so. That'll show her.
Right. I'm like, what is? I don't know. Like, why is that right by the door anyway? But
all right.
So.
Well, next week then we're gonna be doing Quest for the Mighty Sword, a nice Tubi movie that. Oh boy, I can't wait.
I think it's gonna be a lot like Kroll, and that makes me
hope
excited.
So. I really hope so. I hope that this is a movie that we can just spend the entire hour just laughing about.
Yeah, I hope the sword doesn't come into play till the end and then has no impact on the story whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. It can either be Kroll or it could be Attack Force, or it's just like, we get on, we're just like, I can't believe we fucking sat through this.
I would much rather it be Kroll. Kroll.
Oh,
You know?
I was about to reach through there and smack you.
That'd be like a Tubi movie right there.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a 3-minute montage of him finding the sword, or there's some old wise dude that has first introduction to the sword, and he goes, "You must find the sword. It is the key to everything." And it's like, who are you?
4 minutes of climbing a hill.
And tight pants.
We just get a 5. No, you said about like Cam's coming to smack you would be like a Tubi movie. We just get a 5-minute montage of a wide angle shot of Cam running across country to get to you, opens the door, slaps you once, and then runs back.
And while I'm running, have the environment behind me be the most obvious green screen ever.
It's not even green screen. It's not even green screen. You're running on a treadmill with one of those like looping backdrops behind you, like old like.
Oh my gosh!
All right. Well, that'll do it for tonight. Thank you, fellas, very much for joining me to talk about Tron Ares. Had a lot of fun. Be sure to tune in next week while we cover Quest for the Mighty Sword.
I can't wait.
Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.